Hi, it's Bill. I'm a divorce lawyer at the Gentry Law Firm in Marietta, Cobb County, Georgia. This is the third in our series of webinars about divorce law and how our lives are changing because of the coronavirus and social distancing. We expect today's program to run about 15 minutes. Afterwards, we'll be posting it on our YouTube channel. At the end of the presentation, we'll take some questions that you post in the chat box. Now for the legal disclaimer. The information in this presentation is for general information purposes only. Nothing should be taken as legal advice for any individual case or situation. This information is not intended to create, and receipt or viewing does not constitute the creation of an attorney-client relationship. Opinions expressed in this webinar are of the presenter only. So today we've got an interesting topic to talk about: remote or distance learning in the age of COVID. We are very fortunate today to have with us an experienced school teacher, Carrie Minicozzi. Carrie, take a minute to tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Carrie Minicozzi. I'm a special education teacher. I've taught in Cobb and Cherokee County over the last 15 years. I have 3 children. My oldest just finished college. My middle child is in high school, and my youngest is in 1st grade in elementary school. That's basically it.
Well, wonderful. So Carrie, let's get right to it. How is digital or remote or distance learning working with you and your students?
It works pretty well. I am in Cherokee County right now, and we have access. We were kind of preparing for this for snow days. So we had a platform that we use called Canvas, and all the assignments can get rolled out on there. It's a way to kind of keep in contact with parents throughout the school year as well. So that's what we're using. You know, like anything, everybody's kind of doing this for the first time. When we prepared for it, initially it was just to do a couple of days if we had a snow week, or, you know, a couple of days off for snow. Nobody expected it to go this long. So it's definitely been a learning curve for teachers and of course for parents to, you know, get the hang of things and get a routine going and things like that. But, you know, for my purposes, especially in special ed, it can be tricky, you know, just trying to make sure you're keeping up with all the kids. But it does seem to be going pretty well so far.
So now we've been, let's see, schools let out, I think in Cobb and Cherokee, the last day in school was like March 13th, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we had 1 week of spring break. And
that was last week, yeah.
Right, so we've had about 3 or 3.5 weeks of the distance learning.
This is the 3rd week we just started, yeah.
Wow, well, I know a lot of our audience is dealing with remote learning from the other side as parents. But can you tell us a little bit more about how remote learning is working from your side as a teacher? You know, how often do you meet with the students? How do you check their progress? That sort of thing.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like for everybody, it's going to be a little different based on their comfortability with technology and with what platforms each school system uses. But for us, I co-teach, and so we get on with our kids twice a week and do like a morning meeting kind of chat. And then I will check in with some kids that might be, you know, struggling or have some extra questions where I can get on and share my screen with them. So for sure, we're getting on with the whole class, or as many as, you know, join. We get on twice a week. And then individually, I probably meet with kids like 2 to 3 times a week on video chats.
Awesome. So, so you're, are you checking their homework? Are they submitting homework to you? How does that work?
Well, so for us, it all gets submitted digitally. We did send home some packets initially. You know, initially when we got let out of school, we thought it was going to be for 2 weeks. So we were giving them some things that, you know, just so they wouldn't get behind, they were going to be able to get on and, I mean, to fill out those packets and then bring them back to us. But now, you know, things have changed and we're not going back to school so for this school year. So, so we haven't asked them to submit any of those things yet. Right now, we're just doing everything through our digital platform. But I do know some school systems didn't have that in place. So they, you know, they can email stuff back and forth. Parents can always take a picture and send it to a teacher. So it's kind of, unfortunately, it just kind of goes school-based and even county-based. So it looks a little different everywhere. But that's how we use it. We're using it all online.
Well, how do your students seem to be reacting to this distance learning?
Honestly, most of them have told us that they miss being in school. They miss seeing their friends. They love getting on to do the chats. And then we do have a few that, aren't, their parents are working and there's other things going on, so they're not able to get on and do the chats and things. So I think they're missing it even more. But yeah, most of them are kind of sad and they just want to be back in school and see their friends.
They miss their buddies.
Yeah.
Well, so what kind of challenges are you facing in terms of how you're dealing with them on an ongoing basis?
I would say probably, just communication can be challenging. I know parents are getting like a lot of emails and a lot of them are trying to still work and they're, just trying to keep up with it all. So sometimes you can, try to reach out to a student that maybe you haven't seen get online or who's getting a little bit behind and you might not hear back from their parent. So that can be a little challenging. That's been probably the biggest thing, is just making sure that everybody's getting what they need.
Right. Well, how do you spend your typical day? Well, let me back up. I know several of the school systems are moving towards a 4-day school week.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys looking at that? Is that something that's in the cards for Cherokee as far as you know?
It hasn't been rolled out like officially. It has been a suggestion and a lot of teachers are doing that. But I think that's, again, just like a teacher by teacher. I know Cobb did go to, they said 4 days. So in our class, we used Friday as a catch-up day. So anybody who's kind of fallen behind, it's a good day for us to kind of check in with them as well.
Well, I've talked to some other school teachers and they say that there's a huge amount of preparation and additional work that you normally wouldn't experience when you're doing this remotely versus in the classroom. Have you run into that?
Yeah, I mean, it can be tricky because it's not stuff that we had access to either, not being in the classroom. A lot of stuff was, pencil to paper. We didn't do everything digitally in the classroom. So just coming up, we had to come up with some like creative ways to get all of this information to the students online. So it definitely was, it's been a lot of preparation in the process and kind of trying to think outside the box and get more, get all the information we still want them to have into this digital platform for them to be able to access.
Well, I know, I think back to when I was in school a long time ago. You would typically be in school 6-7 hours a day, and the teachers would have to get there early and stay late. How are you spending your weekdays, your work days as a teacher during this unusual time of distance learning?
Just basically, like I said, just getting things prepared, reaching out to the kids. We make sure that they are able to access all the directions and the material that we're providing. So, a lot of it gets like front loaded in, and then we're just, responding to emails, doing the check-ins with the students, checking their work on the platform that we use. So a lot of time is just spent doing that. I would say at least, 3 to 4 hours every day, just making sure that everybody's getting what they need.
Well, Carrie, are there some good things that are going on, some pleasant surprises that you've had from this whole remote learning environment?
Yeah, I mean, I have my son always sitting right by me, making sure he's doing his work when I'm on doing mine. So, it's been nice just kind of having that more like quality time at home. It's, the not having as much structure is a little challenging, but I do feel like it's just nice I feel like we've kind of gone back to basics and we're just, taking our time and like getting through things as we can. And we try not to put a lot of pressure on any of that. And we do the same with our students. We just want them to, focus on themselves first before they worry about schoolwork or anything else, because we know everybody has a lot going on. And, I had mentioned the video chats have been really nice. I know the kids really like it. It doesn't replace, being able to be with your friends, but they do seem to really enjoy getting on and like catching up with all their classmates.
So I know this is probably a consideration that a lot of parents have, but, and you're teaching 3rd grade, but how much time are you generally expecting your students to spend on schoolwork every day? And does that change by age for older students?
Yeah, it absolutely does. I feel like kindergarten through second is probably close to an hour, no more than an hour and a half. You know, third through fifth is about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And then it would increase from there. Middle school might be like 2 to 3 hours, and then high school would be a little bit more than that. You know, if you think about a typical school day, like you said, it's about 6-7 hours. The kids aren't working that whole time. They have lunch, they have recess in elementary. You know, they have different specials that they go to. In middle school, they go to 2 different connections classes. So they're not working at a table for 6 hours a day. So they should definitely not be doing that.
Well, I know I loved art and music when I was a kid. Is the school system able to do anything in that regard for these kids while they're out?
Yeah, I mean, in Cherokee County, because we were lucky enough to have the platform that we use, which is called Canvas, the specials teachers are on there as well, giving out assignments. I know my son loves to do PE, so he gets on and he has to do all these different exercises, or they'll have a video for him to watch. And he's done art. They've had a couple cool art projects, and typing, music, he's done it all, so.
Well, what can parents do to best help their children, motivate them, get them to do the schoolwork that you've seen? Because after all, you're a parent yourself and you've got school-age kids.
Yeah, one thing that helps us a lot is creating a schedule. I do it pretty much every day. I'll make it a little bit different. Sometimes we just, you know, recycle the same old schedule, but I'll like line it up exactly what he should be doing at what time. So like from 8 to 9, you know, he eats breakfast, he kind of just takes some quiet time, and then he'll get on and start doing his digital learning around 9 o'clock. I list what special he'll do that day, and we just kind of go through it as a little checklist, make sure we're getting to everything. And it seems to help because I know there was a couple days where we didn't do it, and seemed like chaos. So when I did have it, he kind of comes and looks for it and makes sure. So I think schedules help. And then if your kid needs some like extra motivation, they can earn, you know, like time on their device or time outside or whatever they kind of enjoy doing. So we have a few kids in our class that really love reading. So, you know, you could even give that as a reward to say, okay, when you're done with this assignment or this amount of time, you can read your book for 20 minutes, or you can go outside for 20 minutes. So just kind of setting up those expectations, I think.
So like a token system where you earn tokens or points or whatever maybe.
Yeah, for sure. For elementary kids, that works. You know, they love like smiley faces and tokens and all that. So that would definitely be something I would do for younger kids, is say, if you work for, you know, 10, 20 minutes, you'll get 1 token. Once you have 5 tokens, you can pick an activity or something like that.
Awesome. So now are you holding any parent-teacher conferences right now?
I have not had any specifically. As far as like in special ed, we do still have IEP meetings, which I have a couple coming up before the end of the year, but we haven't had any parent-teacher type conferences. Typically, at this point of the year, we're doing those at the beginning of the year in October. So unless a parent is requesting anything, the only thing I've gotten on is that I wouldn't call it like a formal parent-teacher conferences. You know, just get on like a video chat and help them with technology, or help them, you know, kind of understand an assignment. I've done that with parents and with students.
Carrie, do you have any kind of general global advice for parents in this whole distance or remote learning environment?
I feel like, you know, the most important thing, I think I mentioned it a little bit earlier, was, you know, just to take care of yourself first. I know a lot of parents are struggling with not working or working from home and trying to, you know, do the digital learning stuff. So just take your time, give yourself grace. If you have any questions, email a teacher. You know, they don't feel like you're bothering the teachers. That's what we're there for. So just make sure you reach out and let the teachers know what you're dealing with, because they want to help for sure.
Well, if you have further questions, you can reach out to us at the Gentry Law Firm at 770-425-5573, by email at info@gentrylawfirm.law, and through our website at www.gentrylawfirmgeorgia.com. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn for more updates. And please share this video with anyone else who you think may need it. At this point, I want to thank Carrie. And Carrie, if we have any questions, we'd be happy to entertain them from the chat box. Or Carrie, if there are any other comments you'd like to share with these folks before we wrap things up?
No, I would just say, we're all in this together, so take one day at a time, and it's, we'll all get through it.
Wonderful. Well, I want to say thank you very much, Carrie. This has been a pleasure and it's been very informative. So at this point, we're going to wrap things up. Take care and stay well. We'll talk again soon.